So chaps, what I did was take a bit of foam board packaging from an Amazon parcel that was delivered with Christmas gifts in, and using some Woodland Scenics Moldacine plaster mixed with water, I spread that over the base, and that's glued down with the Woodland Scenics PVA glue spray. Left that area in the middle for wooden planking. It took 36 hours to dry, and when it's dry it turns white, as you can see, so you know it's dry and ready for paint. So I used some Stynylrez black primer. I airbrushed that all over the base and the four sides. I then moved on to airbrushing a dark earth paint on top of that. And there it is, the airbrushed dark earth, thinned down with some acrylic thinner. I then wanted some tone, so I then airbrushed a dark tan colour. It's lighter than the dark earth. Brush that on, you can see the different variation in tone there. And then I wanted an even lighter tone, highlights on the higher areas of the ground. Used a tan colour and airbrushed that over the raised areas, as you can see there. Next I sealed that all in when it was dry with a Winsor & Newton Galeria acrylic matte varnish. And after that was dry, I could move on to adding the grasses using Woodland Scenics product again, blended turf, some static grass, flock burnt grass, static grass, light green, and some fine turf, green grass. Again, spray the scenic cement down on the areas you want the grass and just sprinkle the different grasses on to create what you're looking at now. So in the bare area in the middle, that rectangle, I want to put wooden planks. So I took popsicle sticks, chopped them down to planks that at 132 scale would represent 1 feet wide, 9 feet long and 2 inches thick. Created a big pile of those. I think it was like 120 something. I then used the Scenics PVA glue paste, not the spray, and mix that with a little bit of water, brush that down in the area, and then put the planks on top, and went for the crisscross pattern, and then put a heavy book on top to hold them down while they set. And then when they were set, I needed to make them look dirty and weathered, so I used a black and brown oak detail wash. These are acrylic washes, heavily thinned with water, and then just brush it all over the planks. So they look dirty now and used. And again, when that was dry, I used in the Winsor & Newton Galeria acrylic matte varnish mixed with some thinner. Brush that over the wood planks to seal that in. Next I wanted to put grass coming up between the gaps of those planks, and so using some burnt grass and some light green grass, some scenic glue, I brushed the glue between the gaps with a small brush, and then used tweezers to drop the grasses onto the glue. Push some of it down with a cocktail stick into the gaps, allow it to set, and then when it's set you just stand the board on its side, tap the board, and then the excess just drops down, and then just brush up that excess and put it back into a plastic sealed bag so you can use again at a later date. So that's where it's at after applying the grasses in between gaps. And following that, I wanted to put some dirt, dust on their pigments, so using Vallejo pigments. Did 4 different colours there. I then brushed that into some of the gaps around the edges of the boarding and in areas on the boarding, just to give it a dusty, dirty look. And following that, I mixed a couple of oil washes, a black and a raw umber, thinned down with odorless mineral spirits and applied some staining to represent oil, fuel stains. And then I felt all I needed now was to add some gravel around the edges of the planks and some gravel here and there in the grass areas. I coloured the fine buff talus using a dark earth paint thinned down with water to create a wash. Then apply the scenic glue in the areas where you want to drop the gravel onto. Let that set. And then use some pigments as well to go over the top of the gravel, just to give it some dusty appearance. And there you go. And that's the model as far as I've gotten. It's been painted, decaled and sealed in with a gloss clear coat. We're ready for weathering. So that's it for this update. But we can't have a base with just an aeroplane on it, so I bought the German 3-ton 4x2 cargo truck. Comes with some accessories on the back. I also got the military miniatures German fuel drum set. And the ICM 132nd scale German Luftwaffe pilots, 3 figures, and the ICM 132nd scale German Luftwaffe ground personnel figures, again 3 in that set. So hopefully it will make it look a bit busier than just an aeroplane sitting on there. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this update. Happy modelling. Tally-ho. Chocks away.